We are this glass. And whatever we put in our mind, this is our heart. Whatever we put in our mind, that's what's going to come out. That's what we're going to pour out. Now, this glass, this represents the heart of your children. This represents the heart of your home, the heart of your spouse. So this, for instance, is going to represent what's good. I spent time with God this morning. I spent time in his word. I went to church. Put a little more in. Yeah, look at that. That's good. I went to group. Whoop, look at me. That's good stuff there. See how clean that is? See how pure it is? And it's got a purpose. It does what it's supposed to. This glass was meant to be poured out. This was never meant to be saved. That is not what it's for. It's not to be put up on a shelf. Your heart is not just to be put up on a shelf. The things you put in, they'll be poured out. And that's what you want the heart of your child to look like. But you can't do that when you take other things and you pour them into your heart. Like hate, because somebody said something, so I'm going to think about it. I can still drink that. Ain't going to taste good. And yeah, I mean, I went to group last week, but when I got home, somebody said something that upset me. Maybe it was my kid, maybe it was my spouse. And they were actually right, but I didn't want to admit they were right. So I got mad and upset, and I never apologized, even though they were right. I just kind of said, well, I'm in charge, and you got to deal with it. And then I got on my phone, and instead of doing what I should, looking at things that are pure, that are lovely, that are righteous, that are excellent, I looked at some things that nobody else knows about. It was just a little bit. Now, none of us want to pour this into the heart of our child. None of us want to pour this into the heart of our family. Then what else are you going to pour in? You going to tell them to do something different when you aren't? They know. You're going to tell them that this is what dad does, this is what mom does, this is what I do, husband, this is what I do, wife, but you need to be different. No, you're going to pour the same thing in. Now, none of us want to do that. Well, how do we get this out? You got to spend time with God. And it dilutes it, but Mark, it's still in there. I know. Because you know what? Sin is bad, sin is gross, and the more of it we get in our heart, the more infected we are, the more difficult it is to root it out. Now, I want you to understand something. When we trust Jesus, we are forgiven for our sins, but our minds haven't been transformed yet. We are still struggling. We are still dealing with being 100% human and dealing with a broken nature, a fallen nature. So I got to spend more time with God. And then I'm praying. And then, man, you know what? I'm going to go to Life Track and figure out what it means to actually live a life that isn't just about me. And then I'm not just going to go to church. I'm going to go to group and surround myself with people who hold me accountable. Now, it's going to pour out because that's what the purpose is. We are told over and over in the New Testament to be overflowing. How do I overflow? I can't be pouring into the life of my child if I don't have anything coming into me. I can't be telling my child to live for God if I'm not spending time with God. I can't be telling my home that they need to be at church if I'm not going to church. So I got to fill myself with these things, and it's going to overflow. I know it's going to keep overflowing, and it's going to take more and more and more. And you say, Mark, there's so much of it. I know. But you know what happens as we do this? You're not just diluting it. You're removing it. Now, you can't see it because all you see is the dirty bowl around you. That's the world. The world is filled with all kinds of things that want to get in your heart. We are in the world, but we're not of the world. It's clean. I could drink it. You could pour this into the life of your child. It's going to get messy. That's okay. That's family. But you can pour that into the life of your child. And most of us have nothing in this glass because we are not pouring from this glass.